Wow, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. My audience, they are just the best. Thank you, guys. Okay, so my name is Sandra Eze. I'm your host, of course, obviously. And I have my audience, and I have Charles right there on the SM social media. How are you, Charles?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
All right. So today is we're discussing a very, very interesting topic. We all want to make money one way or the other, and the average 21st century youth is quite restless. You know, so you want to diversify and do so many things at the same time. So our topic today is Jack of all trade, master of all. That's a question. So you go ahead and let us know your comments on our social media pages, scrolling down there, and Charles will read out your comments. So we'll definitely go on the break, and when we come right back, we get to meet our panelists to help us dissect this topic and see if actually it's possible to do everything and be professional at it. See you on the other side. This is the Inside Out Show.
I believe you should have one business and put your everything to that business and you succeed.
Having just one business, focus on it, I don't think it's a good idea.
You can have one business and succeed. That is, if you actually know your roots.
When you focus on one business, I don't see any possibility for you to really get this big firm.
I think I'll do well when I just have one business. That's my way, and focus on it.
A very successful person in this country as well, they are not staying on one business. So that's what I think about that, having a lot of business or having one business, focus on this and succeed.
If you are able to define yourself that, yes, this is my, and probably you have been in that business for 5 years, and you have to have known that I have achieved so many things in this business. I want to stay close to, maybe there's still more exposure you are getting from it, you can stick to it.
When you spread like Dangote today, everybody's appreciating his success. Why? Because it's extended, and it now create more job for people to at least to earn from what God has given to him.
If you have like 2 to 3, 4, 5 business, you can move faster than someone that's having one business. So that's what I think.
By the time you single it to one end, definitely it's like you are shocking those who will have the opportunity to exhibit what they have learned. You understand? So that is just it.
With the situation of the economy in Nigeria now, my dear brother, if you have 5 business, go for it, honestly.
Inside Out Show, and just before we went on the break, I told us that our topic today is Jack of all trade, master of all. And right now I'm going to introduce you to our panelists who help us discuss this topic, starting first with Ogunsan Olufemi, who is the CEO of Blueprint 360. Thank you for being here with us. And next I have Shola Babatunde, who is creative director of OSC College of Fashion. You look beautiful today. Finally, I have Kunle Sadari, who is a life coach and a business consultant. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on the show today. So let's start this discussion, which I find very, very interesting, and I know a lot of you out there would find it interesting, because Jack of all trade, the cliche saying is Jack of all trade, master of none. So now we're asking, is it possible by any chance that this 21st century that a person can actually master everything, like do maybe 5 different jobs and be a master at all of it? Let me start with you, Kunle.
Okay, thank you.
No, first of all, who is a jack of all trades? Let's get that definition down.
Okay, apparently, I think the phrase started sometime in the 14th century, where it was actually not derogatory at the time. It was actually a compliment paid to those who actually were able to do quite a number of things at the same time. So over the years, they discovered that, oh, okay, you can actually do all these number of things, but you're not known for one particular thing, to be a master at a particular thing. And so they added the phrase master of none. And you find that it actually is true to an extent, because it's except you are on the level where you are multi-talented, which stands you out, and there are not too many people in that category.
Hold on. When
yes.
you are multi-talented, it's
Yes.
okay to be a jack of all trades.
Yes, it's possible. Not just okay. It's possible to be jack of all trades, and be a master of all those trades. But this is also speaking in context. The context meaning it probably has to be within the same industry. But I personally am for being jack of all trades and master of one.
Master of one.
Yes, because I teach personal branding, and I have to advise that, you go on a journey where you discover yourself, which brings you down to a particular set of skills that are able to help you to add value to yourself and to humanity.
Okay. All right, so let's get to you. Femi, let's get to you,
Okay.
right? So you are CEO of Blueprint
Yes,
Media,
I
and
am.
obviously you are of the opinion that you can be a jack of all trades and master everything.
It's possible under the same market sector, under the same industry, like my colleague over here has hinted. And it's also possible in the 21st century that with all the information around us, with the internet, with social media, there's a possibility, if you're also multitasking and talented as well, there's a possibility you could master all those trades. Very possible.
So for you, basically, everything you do, is it within one industry?
Yes, it is within one industry, entertainment.
Okay, all within entertainment.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So coming to you, Shola, let's hear your view.
Well, I believe in focus. I believe you should focus on one thing, and you'll be able to put everything into that one thing and be a master of it. If you're trying to do everything that you can do, you will just be, medium or average at those
Mediocre.
things. Yes, exactly. So, but I believe that if you stay focused on one thing and be the very best at it, put all your energy, all your focus at that one thing, that's when you'll be able to be a master. Talking about being multi-talented, I would consider myself as being multi-talented. However, it doesn't mean I should do everything I can do. The energy spent in trying to do the 10 things I could do, now that I've narrowed them down into just one thing, that's better. It's better for branding, it's better for the people involved, it's better for you health-wise and in all areas. It's better to be known for one thing, and then you can delegate and outsource the other things to other people. So for instance, in my industry, you could be very good at sewing. I'm from the fashion background, garment making. So you could be you could be good at sewing. You could be very good at sewing, but not good at designing. And you could be good at pattern making, but not good at sewing. So if you say you want to sew yourself, cut yourself, design everything yourself and market yourself, your company or your business would not grow. But if you have narrowed it down that I am good at designing, so you design and then let someone else who's also great at sewing sew. So that's why you have people complaining about tailors that, oh, they didn't sew so well, they spoiled the design. It's because they're trying to do master of all and they end up being no master of none.
Being mediocre.
Coming up next on the show.
Is it possible to be like a banker and then a web designer and then an actor? And is that possible, Femi?
In all these fields, it's more of talent than work.
You can actually focus on one thing, so that you can become a master in that thing.
There would still be a difference with the person who has focused all her or his life at being a very great banker.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
You agree, but then you just said you can't be a master of all. I think you said master of one.
Yes, which is in tandem with what she's saying, because you can actually focus on one thing so that you can become a master in that thing. I think we need to take our cue from the, so to speak, developed world as well. And you might notice that a large number of specialists exist in that particular climb, and this has actually been it has actually helped them to be able to bring out the best in most of their industries. So, for instance, there's some kind of military emergency or something that has to do with just thinking about the movies now. That has to do with some bio weapons or something. They call in a specialist because that's what the person is known for. That's what the person has been in for the past 2-3 decades of his life. And they are able to be, rest assured that this person can actually deliver.
I noticed that everybody seems to think, well, so far from what I've heard, everybody seems to think that it's possible to multitask when you're just within a field, let's say in creative industry, or mostly creative industry, because is it possible to be like a banker and then a web designer and then an actor, and is that possible, Femi?
Yeah, it's possible if you're talented, if God has given you that ability to handle such.
But how do you plan to do it?
Okay, for instance,
banking
let's say
is 9 to 5. Okay,
but banking is more of a 9 to 5 job. You don't really need to be talented in banking. So you could go to school, learn accounting, learn economics, be good in numbers, be a very good banker. You'd be a professional banker. Now, God could have given you the ability to be a very good actor, and in the process of acting, you have the looks to be a model as well. So you could be a very good actor. When you do your 9 to 5, you could go back to acting. After acting, by the side, you could also be a model in the process. And in all these fields, it's more of talent than work. So if God has given you that God-given talent, it will come easy to you. So acting could be natural. You don't need to read a book overnight to learn how to act. You could study actors, you could read some books on acting, but it can't be that intense if you really have the talent to act. And in the process, if you have the looks to be a model as well, why can't you be a model? And why can't you be good at being a model? Why not?
I read something while I was preparing for the show. I read a research that says that it takes about 10,000 hours of practice on something to become a professional at
I
it.
agree.
So 10,000 hours, that's about, I'm terrible at math.
Okay,
but I think that's about 3 years or thereabout.
Okay.
So how do you plan to make it happen? Meanwhile,
like
your job as a banker already is draining. Or maybe as a TV producer, that's a 9 to 5. You're drained.
Using the banker and the actor example, yes, you might be naturally talented to be an actor, but your banking job would suffer, because what it means is you have to go for auditions. Auditions are during the day, so you will lie at work or take time off. Please, my mother is sick, I'm dying, or somebody has happened, I need... So your banking job will start to suffer, so you will not be a master at your banking job. Also, your health, you're going to work from 9 to 5, then you close and have to read all your scripts all night, so you won't sleep well. Then when you're on set, you're cranky, you're forgetting your lines. So both the banking and the acting job are both suffering, so you will not be the award-winning actress or the award-winning banker. You will just be average at the two.
The question now is, how good is good enough? Because all of us went to school, right? Yes. Okay. Yes. So all of us went to school. Now in school, you find out that when you have above 70, that's an A.
Yes.
So when you have 85, that's an A. If you're A++, doesn't really work in our 6-3-3-4 system. So if you have 100, that's an A. As far as I'm concerned, 71 and 100, they are the same. So how good is good enough? If as a banker, as an actor or thereabout, I juggle both, I'm able to make a 71, and then somebody else who's an award-winning actress lands a 98.
We are still in A.
Okay, so let me give an example. I feel it's an illusion that you get A in the 2 or 3 things. You will not score an A when your KPIs for a banker who skips work, is sleeping, goes to the toilet to take a nap, mixed up all the tellers for that day. Maybe somebody paid 10K, you wrote 100K because you're tired or you're thinking of your lines.
Yeah.
You would not become, you won't get 70, you get say 60 because you're intelligent.
I object.
However,
I'll get to
I'm
you.
coming
Hold
to
on.
it. However, even if you are so great, you're able to juggle the 2, you do your lines well, you do your banking job well, there would still be a difference with the person who has focused all her or his life at being a very great banker. Why don't you do the banking for a particular time? Save up, resign or retire, then focus on your acting. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't be multi-talented. I am. I used to be called Shola, jack of all trade. I can cook, I used to do hair, I could do makeup, all these things I did not learn how to do. Even clothes, it's natural for me to design. However, after a long period of self-evaluation, like I was discussing with him, I realized, okay, which one am I most passionate about? Which one do people know me for that I can do without any extra harder effort? And I narrowed it down to training and focusing on mass production of garments. So I run a factory, I actually run 2 companies, so I'm doing 2 things, but however, the 2 is still in line with one of the skills I have. All those skills you mentioned are actually related. You just need to sit down to study them. So what it meant to me, because I could do hair, I could do makeup, doesn't mean I should be a makeup artist. It doesn't mean I should be a hairstylist. It just means I'm creative. So you need to narrow down to know what that thing you're good at. So maybe you're good at speaking. You know, you don't get shy. You can face people. Doesn't mean you should be an actress. You could be the banker who faces the clients when they come because you are not shy. So you need to sit down, put all those things together, write them down, ask your friends, people who know you, what do you see me as? What comes to your mind whenever you think of Shola or whoever you are? And then you'll be able to know the thing you can become a master of.
Okay. All right.
Coming up next on the show.
You mean a 40-year-old in Nigeria is not yet an adult, but that's when some of us are still finding who we are.
You normally joke with this youth when we are talking to them that did you choose the course or did the course choose you? You know, and you know the answer is obviously the latter.
It is not.
But it might not be possible. But
that cannot. In acting industry, that is not possible. Any actor will tell you that.
Yes.
You had an objection earlier.
I had an objection.
Okay.
But before I go to my objection, you know, initially I said it's possible to be a master of all trades in a particular market sector. Okay. But you have taken us out of that ideology. So we are back to the banker and the actor, which I believe is possible. Now, for instance, acting, like I said, if you're very talented and it's your God.
I mean, there are other careers, so let's not limit it.
Yeah, but I'm just
into
acting. Okay, but let's continue with your example. So if you're very talented as an actor, it's fun to you. It's like playing ball. So if I'm a banker Monday to Friday, I do my banking work from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Oga is satisfied. Like you said, I have an 80 or an 85. Everybody's happy. My auditions fall on Saturday. I have a relationship with my producers that says I only shoot Saturdays and Sundays. And if I'm shooting during the week from 7 p.m. If you can work with that, that's fine. It might not be possible though.
That is not.
But it might not be possible. But
that cannot. In acting industry, that is not possible. Any actor will tell you that.
In that case, Madam has won this one. In that case, Madam has won this one.
Okay, Kule. Kule, let me get to you now. In a world where we have a lot of young people coming out of school, and you obviously don't have a lot of government jobs, and the economy is going, and let's hope it goes very soon,
hopefully.
Right? So, what do you advise them to do? Because a lot of these people, just like you mentioned, Shola, they have some of them can do makeup, like naturally it comes to them. I can do makeup, I can do hair, I can knit, I can make clothes, I can talk, and I can sing. And so you see them doing everything at the same time. You're not known with one thing. What would you advise such a young person to do?
Hey, good. I think, like you rightly said, it's the local problem that we have that actually encourages this jack of all trades, which is, lack of employment, and, a lot of people are not trained to see opportunities. And also, I think there is very little guidance counseling in our schools. You have been opportune to interview quite a number of people, quite a number of youths in my time, and I realized that, I normally joke with these youths when we are talking to them that, did you choose the course or did the course choose you? And the answer is obviously the latter. Most likely the course just chose them. So they come out after 4 years of studying. What was the latest one I heard? Physiology or something. And I'm like, what's the career prospect for physiologists in Nigeria? I don't know, but I don't think it's that prominent, So I think all these things couple up to...
Sorry, hold on. Charles,
Yes.
could you check career choices for physiologists, please? Go on.
Okay. So all these things add up to make the youth actually desperate, and, everyone advises them, do anything, and so they go out there and try anything. But like I said earlier, I'm now really focusing on personal branding, and I'm focusing on the youth, and I'm trying to let them understand that, look, the best thing is for you to go on that journey of discovery and find out what exactly you're good at. Where is your passion, right? Where do you have what can you do? Like you rightly said, that you don't have to put so much extra effort. It just comes to you. So if there is more of that, I think you would have more people specializing in particular areas of their strength. So you have happier people all around eventually.
Okay, Shola? I knew you wanted to talk.
Yeah, to buttress his point, what I feel, and I'll give my example of myself. Don't wait till when you finish school. I think even while you're in school, you should already be on a journey of self-discovery. You have to read a variety of books. Don't go on social media just to, I don't know what young people do on
Check
social
out
media.
Slay Queens.
Check out Slay Queens and Pepper Dem Gang. No, that shouldn't be the only thing. Make sure you're reading books, go online, follow people who you think you want to pattern your life after. Also, volunteer at different organizations. That's one thing I did. Right from time when I was in school, whenever there's a strike or there's a holiday, I'm working in one company or the other for free.
Yeah.
And I am learning, and those are all the things I have pulled together to become who I am today. So like he said, while interning at that company A, you will feel, okay, I like it, or oh, no, I can't do this. And then the next holiday, you're interning at company B. That's the time you are multitasking. That's the time you're a jack of all trades. At that time, you're still trying to reach the journey of where you find out, okay, this is the one thing, or this is the industry I want to eventually settle in. Don't wait till you finish school. So for instance, abroad, we find out that younger people of a certain age group are already working. Well, in Nigeria, so let me explain what I mean. So if there's a grant or there's a scholarship thing, the age group, I've realized, they would say, so from age, say 16 to
maybe 25.
To say 25 should apply. And those are the people they qualify as youth. So the issue is usually, those youths in Nigeria are still under mommy and daddy. Yeah, they don't even yet know who they are, not to talk of writing a business plan. So we normally have to tell those bodies, please extend it to 40. And then they write to say, why 40? You mean a 40-year-old in Nigeria is not yet an adult? But that's when some of us are still finding who we are. Yeah. So it's because we start late. We wait till we finish secondary school or university before we realize, okay, what do I want to do? No, it should have been right from time. So I would advise you to read, go out there and intern in different companies. No, like some of you have come here, you've heard all these things. Don't wait till you finish school and that's the time you want to start trying different trades. No.
All right. So Charles, I asked you earlier to check out career options for a physiologist, just so you know. And any other person studying that course here? No? Okay. But just in case you don't know, find out.
So I found 7 of them.
Okay.
There is a biomedical scientist. There is a clinical research associate.
Okay.
There is an exercise physiologist, healthcare scientist in bracket audiology, healthcare scientist in bracket physiology. There's pharmacology, and there is research scientist, medical research scientist.
Okay, that's about 7 different. You don't get a lot of career options like that in Nigeria.
Yeah, no, that's another thing. You know, he was talking about the career choose you or did you choose. A lot of us, those days, we just say, okay, jam, you know, go through the brochure, which university, the university I like, okay, what courses are they offering, and we just tick. It's not because of what we really had dreamed we wanted to be. A few people said yes, they wanted to be doctor, lawyer, engineer, but there's so many other courses. So we should do what he just did. Go online and type them in. What are the career options for this thing? So that you even have an idea of the growth, and then you would know where you want to intern, you would know where you want to work, and then you would know if it's something you would like to be. Type in 5-10 top pharmacologists and see what they're doing. Let's not just keep choosing BizAdmin, banking, medicine, law, engineer. There's so many other things that we could become and then be the one everybody else will be looking out for. So for instance, the pharmacology, I don't know any pharmacologists in Nigeria. I'm sure there are. However, people need their services. A lot of people have maybe, you know, injuries and they refer you to look, but we don't have a lot of those specialists. Okay. So maybe one of us, or the youth coming, could decide, okay, this is the career path and this is how I'm going to make a difference in that field.
I was reading somewhere yesterday, actually a friend of mine saying this, that in the first 1 to 3 years after you graduate, you basically take on any kind of job, you know, like customer services, you know.
That's interesting. I'll pick up on that when we come back. We're going to go on a commercial break right now. And when we come back, this is the Inside Out Show, and we're discussing Jack of all trade, master of all, master of one, master of none. What's your pick? Don't forget to go and post your comments on our Facebook page, on Instagram, and on Twitter. We'll be right back after this break. Please stay with us.
Coming up next on the show.
The proper thing is to go into various types of jobs, try different types of jobs that expose you.
It might be a little bit harder, but the road to the top, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, you know. So you gotta keep on grinding, keep on pushing, and when it breaks, you'll be the master of all, you know?
Before the break, Kunle, you were talking about advising younger people that when you leave school during your first to third year of graduation, that it's okay to dabble into anything you can, right? So are you advising that specialization is it okay to do specialization maybe like 5 years after? Do you get the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. There are 2 ways you can approach it, maybe more than 2 ways. But one is, yes, you can actually try quite a number of things, which is, you know, until you hit the mark and find out exactly what you're good at. The other way is to go on a committed journey to actually, you know, find out exactly what you're good at through a lot of feedback from people around you, your friends that know you, you know, and all of that. At the same time, yes, you can specialize after those number of years, you know, after 3 years or thereabout. I realized, I'll go back to when I was doing my master's, I realized that the students who took us back the most in class were people who actually finished university and immediately went into, came to their masters. And I've always advised against that. I always tell youth that once you graduate, don't go, except you're so sure, you know, don't go into your masters immediately. What are you mastering in? How do you know that that's what you want to master in?
So what's the proper thing they should do?
The proper thing is to go into various types of jobs, try different types of jobs that expose you. Make sure those jobs expose you to doing different things, you know, so that you can, while doing it, you find out either your skills or your passions or something you'd like to actually master in before you say, okay, now I think I'm interested in this. I think I'd like to do a master's in this area.
Okay. Now, Femi, you are obviously, Charles, you're coming to comments. Femi, you're obviously of the opinion that you can master everything.
Under a particular market sector.
Under your particular, okay, fine. Now, somebody like me who happens to be a TV host, an actor, a plus-size model, a singer, maybe
but
not.
you see, you also,
how do you make yourself? Yeah, okay, go on.
But you're also under the same entertainment sector.
So, but how do you make it? Because honestly, as much as I'm able to do, it is hard. It is draining.
Nobody said
how are you able to make yourself stand out?
No one said it was going to be easy, but you're standing out with your Inside Out show right now. Everyone is giving you applause. Everybody loves what you're doing.
Thank you.
When I see your pictures on,
thank you.
When I see your pictures on social media, I'm like, wow, you are beautiful. You know, so doing your modeling thing, you're standing out too. So you might not think you're not being noticed, but we out here, we see you.
Yeah, I get.
Yeah,
thank you for making me feel good about myself.
Yeah, and also, like I said, like what I do, I'm also into entertainment, but everything I do evolves around the same thing. So I've been able to master a few things. So I'm a event organizer and event creator. So I've created events for over 10 years and they've been running. So I could focus energy on something else as well. I do Vox Pop, so maybe on social media you would have seen me holding microphones doing Vox Pop. That's still under entertainment. I'm a show producer and creative content developer, so they're all under the same umbrella. No, so don't let anyone really tell you that no, you can't be a master or something. Why? Because you could do master it, that doesn't mean I can master it. It might take time, it might be a little bit harder, but the road to the top, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, you know. So you gotta keep on grinding, keep on pushing, and when it breaks, you'll be the master of all. You know?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Besides, this is 2 against 1 now.
All right, this is the Inside Out show, and when we come back, this is a very juicy conversation. When we come back, we're taking comments from Charles, and of course, we're asking our audience, we're taking questions from the audience. See you on the other side. This is the Inside Out show.
Coming up next on the show.
Like she does, she's modeling. She's hosting this show. She can act. It is still within her
Same industry.
The industry.
The only way you can be a jack of all trades is if you are street smart.
I mean, I'm street smart too.
What is street smart, Seth?
You have to have OT.
What does the term multiple streams of income come in?
It could also mean putting your money to work.
The Inside Out show, and we're discussing the topic Jack of all trade, master of all. It's been very, very interesting with my amazing panelists. You guys are just all shades of awesome. Thank you. And right now, let me get to you, Charles.
So my question, yeah? You both have said a lot. Personally, I'm of the opinion that you have to focus and make something good out of what you're doing, and then invest in other things. But he's made so many points as well. But my question to you is first, Shala, do you think, where does the term multiple streams of income come in? I mean, like he said, we're in an economy where you have to pay bills, families on your neck and stuff. Don't you think it's important, to have a lot of streams. And then my question for you is, don't you think it's important to focus? Don't you? What part do you think focus plays in when you're trying to get a job in your career? Yeah. So.
Okay, so should I go
yes,
first?
Please.
All right. So yes, you should have multiple streams of income. It's even part of what we teach in our school, but within what you have focused to do. So for instance, I'll use myself as an example. I'm a fashion designer. I produce garments. Look, I discussed it with him earlier. So we produce our own clothing line. We produce for other designers. We sell our clothes. We also train. We sell textbooks and all the training materials. If I go on, we have 10 streams of income from the same thing. So it's not that I would be a caterer today, be an engineer tomorrow. If they say they need someone to paint a building, I'm there. They need someone to do up the set, I'm there. No, it should still be within what you do that you come up with the other streams of income, because that's where your expertise would be. That's how you can do it very well. So like she does, she's modeling. She's hosting this show. She can act. It is still within her
the same industry.
The industry.
So I'm sorry. Can't I be a TV host and be a good caterer at the same time?
A TV host and be a good
caterer. Cook, yes.
So who cooks? So let me give an example. For instance, I used to do catering. So I'm known for cooking for
you used to, so at some point you've actually tried
I used
that,
to do
everything.
So I used to be the jack of all trades. So I used to cook, do all that, but everyone would suffer for the other. That's what, when it gets to a point, talent can just take you thus far. Yes, you're a natural cook, but when you start getting good orders, so you have to cater for a large wedding, and then at the same time, the wedding, in fact, the same people who want you to cook for the wedding are the ones who want you to make all their clothes. You would kill yourself. You would disappoint them. You yourself would not be happy. The clothes would not be ready. The food would not be good. So eventually I had to call myself to order, pick one. Which one are you good at? However, I still do the catering, but it's totally, I am not involved with it. There's a manager, there's someone else who is doing it. It's not even under my name. So that is what you should do. So it's not that you will kill all those other talents you have. You just need to know when to let go, that you are not the one being the master. You can't be the one doing everything. That's what I would say.
Okay. Before I ask the audience, I get the comments from the audience. I was having this discussion with a friend during the week, and then he said that the only way you can be a jack of all trades is if you are street smart. So, Femi, what's your take on that?
I mean, I'm street smart too.
What's street smart, Seth?
You have to have OT.
What is OT?
Orientation. OT. You have to know, like, I have to just know, you have to just see. Don't worry, if you don't have the orientation, you can't explain it.
I like to believe I'm street smart.
No.
Extent.
I just meant looking at you, you're not.
Looks could be deceiving. Looks could be deceiving.
Looks are deceiving. But come on, explain street smart to the average person.
Just to know what the street really wants, how to be smart from that perspective. So it's not just textbook smart. So when you're in the street, there's some certain things you can't see, or some certain behaviors you can't exhibit on the street, some certain ways of talking to people. So when someone wants to talk to you in a certain way, or is doing business in a way, that this guy is being shady, but if you're just textbook smart, you just be doing business with the guy, and you just, before you know it, you find yourself in the Jarakas.
Okay. So in that case, that opinion is right then?
Not 100% though, boy. It's
not 100%. Okay.
What don't you think focus plays a huge, part?
Focus plays a very huge role. I was speaking to our life coach here. One of the very bad things of being a jack of all trades and master of all is brand identity. So when everybody knows that you can do all these things, they don't really know. Like when there's an issue, they don't know what to call you for. You know, it's happened to me a couple of times. You know, I do a lot of things, and when someone has an issue, like, does he really do this, or he does it by the side? But in the long run, if God is also on your side and you can actually do it well to a certain level, they will know that, okay, when it comes to this level, the guy is sabi. When it comes to this level, under the same industry, the guy is sabi. So focus plays a part, but like I said, if you build your brand and your talent to a certain level, people would identify with you in that sector, no matter what.
All right, Kunle, would you like to add anything before I get to my audience?
Okay, just to add a bit to the talk about multiple streams of income. I think we also view multiple streams of incomes as different types of businesses that we need to be involved in. But it goes beyond that at times, and you need to look at it that it could also mean putting your money to work. That could be,
investments.
Investments. Investments are also streams of income as well. So you don't. That doesn't need your skill. It doesn't need your talent. All it needs is putting your money to work, and you get dividends from it. That's also some kind of stream of income as well. So if you're looking at multiple streams of income, I think you need to expand your mind.
I think it's important to emphasize this. Not Ponzi scheme, though.
No. Not Ponzi schemes.
Definitely not.
No.
Okay.
Not Ponzi schemes. But there are other various, and there's so many networking, network marketing businesses out there. But the thing about network marketing business, I've been in a few that failed as well. And I think I discovered that the first thing that's important about network marketing is to understand the business. A lot of people go into it when they listen to all the good things, how much you could make and all of that, and then you just put your money in. But I think the first step is pause, hold your money, keep your money in your account, right? And go and learn and understand what the business is about. And any business that doesn't have a product or service attached to it, I think we could generally classify it as a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
So if someone is saying just bring your money 100% in 48 hours and all of that, no, it's most likely a Ponzi scheme. But if there's some kind of products or services attached to it, then you could look into it, understand it, and you can get to invest your money in it.
Coming up next on the show.
Those industries take so much of your time that it's almost impossible for you to be a master of something else.
Another form of multiple stream of income. You realize that, oh, there's a demand for this, and then you hire people.
That's being street smart.
That's being street smart, yeah.
Okay.
If you have a problem and you have a product or a service that's solving that problem, I can assure you, you would be very well.
All right, so questions?
I don't have a question. I have a comment and contribution. I don't have any problem with jack of all trade and master of all, but I think to try and buttress my point is that if you can bring out the best from a particular person, then I don't think there is any crime or problem being a master of all, because if that person, that individual can cope with all the things he's doing, the jobs and responsibility, then it's okay by me. That's it.
Okay. So he's saying that if you can juggle everything, that it's fine.
If you can handle it, yeah, why not?
Okay. All right, next person.
This question is going to Mrs. Shola. For an example, the men of old we had in those days, such as Da Vinci, Newton, Einstein, were all jack of all trades. They were doctors, artists, physicists, all at a time. How come in the 21st century we don't have such people now? Meanwhile, back in those days, we had them.
First of all, I don't agree that they were jack of all trades. They were all known for being great at particular fields. So they were either inventors or they took time out to research and they wanted to solve a problem. So that's the difference with what people then and people now. So back then, if they see that there should be a faster way to do this thing. Okay, I'm a scientist. Let me come up with an invention that will enable us to do this thing faster or better. So the difference is that right now, people are not thinking that way. We're all busy looking out for how Shola will have more money, how Shola will be the one to be the richest person in Nigeria. But if we're thinking, oh, there's a problem in Nigeria, how do I solve it? And through that way, you would now become very rich. If you have a problem and you have a product or a service that's solving that problem, I can assure you, you would be very well.
You mentioned something about money.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, should money be the motivation to becoming a jack of all trades?
Money should not, but however, money is the reason why people want to become jack of all trades, because they're trying to look for money to keep alive, to sustain themselves. Yes. But if it's driven from a social angle, I want to impact my community, I want to do something, a legacy that I will be known for. Yes, as a result, that one is usually longer. It outlives you, and you would definitely make money from that. But money should never be the reason why you want to do different things. It should be that you want to solve a problem.
Okay. Okay, let's have the next comment.
My question is, about 50% of Nigerians or more are going to multitask just because of the money. Some other people are into so many other white collar job whereby they're not even sure of what they are doing. They can be sacked at any time. So what I want to ask now is, can you blog? This is a computer age whereby can you blog and also be a blogger and also be a doctor? Is that possible?
Yes, you can. However, I want to say something about when you work for someone or you're working in a job. You can be a master at that job. You could be the best hands that office would have. Like this show has been on for how many years? It's because of the team that comes together to put inside out. So what I'm saying is, it's not until you have a business. You can be working for someone and be so great at that. So be great at your job. So if you're going to blog and work, don't use the company's internet to do your private blogging. If you are using company's internet to do your private blogging, you are not master. But however, if you get home, you've closed, you bought your own Wi-Fi and you're using it to blog, and you've timed yourself, you know that, okay, if I do this for 2 hours, I can go back to bed and still function well at work. Of course, you can do that. And what you're blogging about should be what you really know about. For instance, you could blog about your work. You could blog about, you said, can you be a doctor? Is that what you said? Yeah. So you can have a blog about
doctors,
you
face as a doctor,
your patients and all those things. Yes, you can. So there's nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't affect your work.
Fantastic. Okay. All right.
Let's take for example someone who is into different business or producing so many things and is going well, is being successful in all that he does. For example, like someone like Dangote, who is into different things like producing sugar, cement and all that, and is being moving successfully. Does that mean he's not mastered in all of those things?
Using the example he gave, Dangote, I think you need to realize that he started from one particular thing and he grew it from there. What he did was he tapped into demands in some particular spaces and hired people that could actually manage those types of businesses. It's not like he knows everything about how to produce sugar or how to produce noodles or something, but he hired people to actually do that. So he's not, as a person, he's not master of all.
more
but
of
he
a
has
serial
invested
entrepreneur.
business.
Exactly, that's
he's
his
an-
mastery.
He's more of a serial
He's
entrepreneur.
more of a serial
he's-
entrepreneur.
okay.
So he has put his money to work. It's another form of multiple stream of income. You know, you realize that, oh, there's a demand for this, and then you hire people.
That's being street smart.
That's being street smart, yeah.
Okay, I get it
when,
now.
when you know what's out of
I want to become a medical doctor, a surgeon for that matter.
Fantastic.
And what other thing can I go into apart from being in the medical world? Like aside from going to hospital every day, attending to patients, what other thing can I do that will not affect my job as a doctor?
You mean right now or when you become a surgeon?
No, when I become a surgeon.
Okay, so if you are have you seen the film? What's that surgeon's name?
Ben Carson.
Thank you. Go and watch the film.
I've watched it already.
You've watched it. Do you think he has time to go and do anything else?
No.
Why not?
Because of how tasking his job is.
He is exceptionally good that people come from all over the world. There's a waiting list for him to operate on them. Excuse me, you won't have time for anything else. If you are a great surgeon.
Miss Shola, Ben Carson has time to write, so how come?
Aha, fantastic. When did he write the books? Was it in his journey of growing or when he had now become something?
Throughout his career, he's involved in writing, and right now he's still writing.
Okay, if he didn't have a story, would there be something to write about? So it was not when he was still struggling. If you watch the film, it was after he had achieved something that he wanted all of us to learn about that the book was written. Yeah. If he was busy doing singing, writing, auditioning, and he wasn't good at being a surgeon, we won't have anything to reference to right now. So let's not miss what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't write a book, but you can write a book after there's something to write about.
Okay.
Nobody will buy your book.
Like build the content from inside.
Exactly. We can buy those books because we know it's real. It's just what is inside is not framed. It's his life.
There are some market sectors that are very time consuming. You know, like surgery, law, some other. Those industries take so much of your time that it's almost impossible for you to be a master of something else. Especially medicine, where you're dealing with people's lives. Yeah, you know, it's very, so that some areas that you should just, if you're going in there, you have to focus. You don't gonna be playing with people's lives and be blogging by the side.
A surgeon, for instance, who didn't sleep well and his hands are shaking. Imagine you want to cut someone, you just go and cut the heart instead of somewhere else.
Focus.
So think about what the implications of this career so that you would just do the research. Do the research.
Thank you very much. Woo! Wow, Charles, that was a good show.
Amazing show. Learned a lot.
Did anything stand out for you?
Yes, I think now I should diversify a little bit because I'm one for so much focus. Well, I need to be street smart.
Okay, basically, I think what stood out for me is, and I bet a lot of people picked up on that, is the fact that it's okay to multitask or if you're multi-talented, but it's just in your best interest if you could do all that within one industry. That way it's easier for you to manage your time, and you know you're a specialist when you focus more on that industry. When you try to diversify and try out 5 different industries at the same time, that is hard. That is hard. So yeah, the question, jack of all trade, master of all, it's possible within the same industry. That's what I take out. Okay, wow, thank you so much for being a part of the show, my audience. You are amazing. I love you guys. I don't know how you manage to shout like that, but I love it. That I should probably rehearse. All right. So see you on the next episode of the Inside Out Show. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.